How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video here on the channel. And today, we're going to be checking out the latest fusion in Vaultkeeper Wixwell, live from the test server, to see how good will he be for the Demon Lord clan boss on the Ultra Nightmare difficulty. So what I've done today is formed a team that really makes sense for Wixwell, like making full use of that intercept buff. We've also got the shields and increased defense to support our champions. And then we've got the extension of our buffs as well, and then increasing the value of those shields, and hopefully we can see how much value that has, because for me personally, it's a little bit underwhelming, which we're definitely going to see in the run. And then also he's got this counterattack that places on himself every single turn, so we're just getting some nice War Master procs coming out without having a full ally attack team, or counterattack should I say. So before we get into this, I actually want to show you something that Raid sent to me, right? And I thought it'd be pretty cool to open this with you guys. So as you can see, it says Polarium here on the box, and I believe that all content creators got this, but I have no clue what's inside or how to open a box in 2024. I don't really want to rip it. It's kind of nice. It's got a little handle, like a briefcase. Let's see what we got, guys. Let's see what we got. Oh, Amon's the Magnificent. Well, okay. Hopefully you guys can see that, because I've got some green screen effects. Where it says, Happy 5th anniversary, another year has passed, bringing triumphs worthy of Teleria's greatest heroes. Okay. Well, it's a big paragraph. I'm not going to read it all off right now. But it looks cool. Might leave it on my desk. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay. Raid. Oh, man. Let's just say they're doubling down on Polymorph. Wait, we're going to leave that till last. But firstly, what's this? We got some socks. Oh, that's a nice touch. So as you can see there, it's actually got Kale on it. He looks a bit grumpy. But look at the tag on the top. Can you guys see that? It's like a speed boot. So we got a 6-star epic speed boot with 45 plus speed. So it must be fully ascended. It's got Dark Elves on the back. All right, that's pretty cool. And then we got a... What's this? Okay, so this one's Grumpy Gallic. There we go. Wait, can you see me through him? Oh, no. I thought with the green screen you might be able to. But this is 45 speed as well. Let's go. I'll take it. And then... Actually, no. I'll show you this now. Look at this. Bah! We got Polymorph. Look at this. Oh, cool. It's got a little raid tag on it as well. Look. I tell you what. I can say that I'm going to leave this in my room, in my setup or something, which is pretty cool. But let's be honest. My kids are going to steal this, right? So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't really get sent stuff pretty often. I think the last time was like 2 years ago when Hydra boss was released. But I'll take it. That is pretty cool. And do you know what? I'm going to leave him here. So whenever we get polymorphed in arena... Hopefully he can reduce those chances from me in some secret way. All right, so I think there's one last thing here. Throw this box down. Let's throw this box down. And what we got? Oh, so it's a t-shirt, but what's on the t-shirt is what I'm interested in. Oh, okay, that's really nice. Wait, you guys see that? So it's like it's got Raid on it, and it's got all the Hydra heads. That's really cool. What size is this? It looks so big. I don't know. Well, we're going to be wearing it in a future video, I guess, but it's really nice quality. But thanks, Raid, for sending that over. And yeah, that was a pretty cool intro to the video, right? Checking it out. Got my little polymorph dude. Bah! And do you know what's really cool? Because we're using Wixwell, he actually blocks the sheep debuff with intercept. So perfect timing. So all right, YST, let's get into the clan boss then. Okay. We'll talk about the team, talk about substitutes that you could do, and all of that good stuff. And this is the one that we are rocking with. It's definitely not that one. Let's go down here. So here we go. So this is the theme around the team. So Wixwell, latest fusion champion, he's actually going to be extending the value of Torogi the Frog shields, as well as extending the value of ally protection, increased defense, increased speed, and all of that good stuff. So phenomenal champion coming out from that A2. Not many champions can play that role, I guess. We got the decreased attack as well to keep that consistent, as well as the counterattacks on himself and the intercept buff to block it on Lydia the Death Siren. Because in this speed tune that I've done, increased defense is not active on Lydia, right? Once we get into like turn count 6. So then the boss is just going to be going boom, always targeting Lydia on that void affinity, and we can see those intercept stacks really protecting her to keep her run consistent. I'd say Lydia is replaceable. Farrakhan the Fat's replaceable, and Xenograde Blade Master is replaceable. I just wanted to put ones that was, you know, maybe accessible in the past, being a fusion and a free champion. But I'll talk about that a little bit later on, of some of the best choices. But one of the best things about this team, guys, which took a little bit of a time to put together, is it's full auto, right? So quick battle feature is definitely a thing that you could do with this team. It's not affinity friendly right now because we haven't got a block debuffs in the team consistently. But I actually ran it on Spirit, right? Quick battle, I was just intrigued. How will it run without the block debuffs? And actually, we got to 77 million damage, which I'll show you later on, which was pretty cool. Like, even if it just has bad RNG and 2 keys, and you miss the Void Affinity, it's really cool to see that you can at least, you know, deal some decent damage against those affinities there without block debuffs. But we'll speak about replacements if you want to put that into the team. So do you know what? The sheep has to move. It's just messing with my sources for the scenes on OBS. So all right, let me just bring up the website real quick of the speed tune. So we've got Grazzle Iron Gut because Wixwell's not in the calculator at the moment, but we've actually reworded stuff here. So we're going to be opening with these. So A2, A3, extensions, A3, A3, but I'll show you the presets. Once we get down to like turn count 6, you can see that everything starts to fall together. Lydia's taking the turns where she has to. The increased defense is falling off, so we're taking that stun target. And then I've named it to shield, so you know exactly where that's going. So we go to Ruggy the Frog, right? We're going A3. And then we're going to be doing extend right here with the Wixwell for those buffs. And then we're going to be heading down here to placing the shield because it's a better value, right? Putting that on, protecting our team. We've got all the buffs we need, and boom. We're going to have no problem surviving that. On AoE 2, it's going to be a very similar theme, but then we're going to be surviving off the shields of Taragi the Frog this time. So, first attack, shields of Wixwell. Second one, extending the value of Taragi, so he's missing a shield, but we've got him in some nice tanky stats to keep him alive. And then on this turn here, we're going to always be taking that stun on our Lydia the Death Siren, which is pretty cool to see. Now, many of you guys may be thinking, with Xenogray Blade Master, how have you managed to fit this in with that way she does an increased speed on herself? Well, if you want to disable that skill, the main reason we're using her is for that leech debuff, right? So very replaceable, but she just deals some very nice damage, she amplifies her own attack, phenomenal to fit into a clan boss team, for anyone that has her. But basically, if you want to disable that, we need 226 speed. If you do want to do it with the increased speed buff, as you see here, we've got it active. Can you guys see that? Well, yeah, I think you can see it there. Well, you just have to bring it down to 219 speed to make up for those 10 meter fills that she brings with her kit. And I will actually leave those speed tunes in the description below for anyone to play around with if you want to, you know, put some different champions in there and maybe alternate it a little bit. But if we just go into Xenogray, she actually has a 10 meter fill here. So this is why we have to bring down that speed a little bit just to make up for that in the speed tune. So okay, let's just head into this team now, show you how it's working. Well, one thing that you could do is, if you really wanted to optimize your damage, is just do one manual turn. It's not necessary, you can do it in full auto, but I'll show you what I mean. So right here, Lydia the Death Siren will actually place a block buffs, which is tedious because you're filling up a debuff bar, we can only have 10, and we only want that poison sensitivity from the kit. So technically, you could just place it once, right? And then following on from here, she'll just be doing A1s, and then, you know, the increased speed and the decreased defense and weaken. That's one way you could do it, or you could just leave it active. It's not really a problem. But there is little times, occasionally, where the debuff bar is stacked, and then Xenogray Blade Master doesn't have space for a leech debuff, and then none of our champions are healing by 18% of the damage inflicted. So, bit of a risky play, I guess, but it's all down to your discretion. But you could just take it off and make full use of the poisons from Fabric in the Fat and getting those leech debuffs out, as you see right now. Well, as you see, we're going to have Fabric in the Fat taking that first stun because of the way we've used our masteries and all of that good stuff. And then boom. And then after this one, at turn count 6, it's then going to go to Lydia the Death Siren because she'll be losing that increased defense buff. But by then, the intercept buff is there, guys, as you see. And this is going to allow us to block any crowd controlling effects, including that stun debuff from the clan boss. And I think one real cool thing that Wixwell brings to the table, which is very unique, is over the course of the run, he's going to be putting intercept on absolutely everybody because you only lose a stack upon the crowd controlling effect being attempted, right? So, do you know sometimes later on into a run, someone takes a big smack like a Taragi the Frog or something with an ally protection? Well, he's actually going to have intercept as well, so it's not going to throw you out of your speed tune cycle because by the time you hit like boss count 20, everybody's got intercept on because you're just going to be going in the order of champions, placing on everybody. So right now we got it on Farrakhan, we got it on Lydia, we got it on our Wixwell. And no matter where it goes, we're going to have no problems with this. Well, I believe is it turn count 9? Maybe where she starts taking the stun. Let's just get around to there. I will speed this up a little bit so you can see the rest of the run, and then I'll show you some quick battle features as well, and throw in some different alternatives that I think are very, very powerful. Like, imagine Turvold in this team. He's going to be having a field day. So as you see, counterattacks doing some decent damage here. We're getting our poison debuffs out. So boom. Let's just catch the stun, and I'll break down the actual turn cycle and what's happening as well. So as you see, increased defense has now fallen off from Lydia the Death Siren. She should be taking this stun on this next one. So boom, extending the value of that shield. It's not significant, like I mentioned before. Nice. And even on Affinity Clan boss, to be fair, like if you can get a block debuffs in there, maybe where Zenogre is, you know, maybe like a Wither the Crown could be a very good option as well. Just cleanse off the decrease speed potentially. There's many ways that you can like change this team around to your advantage. So boom, she's now going to take a turn. There you go. As you see, increased defense has fallen off, and now she's going to be targeting our Lady the Death Siren looking forward, because everyone else is going to have that active. So yeah, so Ally Protection will go out. We'll then extend the value of that shield. It's not significant, but it is keeping us alive a little bit. I really wish that they can, you know, buff that a little bit, right? Because what I did was put as many buffs into the team to give them the perfect scenario to extend to increase the value of that shield, but it's just not insane, being completely honest. But there we go. Now we place the shield from Wixwell, you know, protecting our Taragi the Frog as well in the process. So what I'll do is let you guys enjoy the rest of this run, come back to you towards the end and see exactly where the damage can take us. Let's get into it. So there we have it, guys. 97.52 million damage dealt against the Ultra Nightmare difficulty. And as you can see, Wixwell with 16 million damage. So he's not just support, he's not just an extender, but he's also a decent damage dealer with those counterattacks. We've then got Lydia the Death Siren at 13 million, Farrakhan at 19 million, Zenogre at 36, and then 10 million on Taragi the Frog. But just remember, against the Affinity Clan boss, Taragi usually does a bit more damage with those multi-hits on those affinities. But overall, let's just say you could bring some cruelty in here, some higher star blessings. There's only 2 champions with less than 2-star blessings here on my team, so you can really see where you can add some foundations to up this damage, right? So let's just take this off now and discuss the presets for this team, for anyone interested, because it is very important. So Wixwell here is going to be doing a first priority on the Tempest Knowledge, and then a second priority on the Codex Inter CPO. Sounds like a Harry Potter skill. Lydia's going to be doing first priority, second priority, but once again, if you feel like this is filling up your debuff bar, lock it off, and no problems, the run's going to be completely fine, guys. Farrak in the Fat is going to be doing a first priority and a second, wherever the heck you like, right? You can put burns first or the ally attacks, all down to your discretion. Zenogre Blade Master, in this speed tune, we've actually turned off the Blade Strike, and we're just focusing on that Blade Spin. And the main reason for it is, for anyone that doesn't have Zenogre, I want you guys to see that even though we've not speed tuned according to this, that it's still possible to full auto without this champion, because it's all just based on damage, right? And then Taraji the Frog is doing the Bog Blessing and taking off that potent stench, because we don't want to smell that stuff coming out from you-know-where. So I've just taken off Lydia's poison sensitivity skill to see how it's like without it, and I've just bought some keys so we can run through some quick battles. So let's just do this. You don't want to go through too many, right? Otherwise we won't have the Void Affinity anymore, but as you can see, 90 million damage. How much more leeway do we have? Oh, we got loads. We do want to try out some other champions as well that I've built up, right? So here we go. How much damage can we do here? 92.85 million, so it kind of sits around this range, 90 to 100 million, and then occasionally you might see around 88, but even with less stats, less gear, this is like the most comfortable 2-key you'll ever get, but then most of the time, even if you can get 71, that's all you need, right, as you're progressing through the game, which will break down the stats very soon. But what I do want to do is actually take out the Farrak in the Fat and put in some different options. I think one very powerful one is actually, which I've not tried, this is going to be the first time I see this, is going to be, where is he? Dark Kale. Dark Kale, can we find you? There he is. So what Dark Kale does with this A3 is the poison sensitivity and the poison to make up for what we're losing from that Lydia if we take it off, right? So let's just do a first priority here. But we're also getting an extension of our debuffs to keep our debuffs active, right? And then we're getting the poison detonation. But the main thing is we're actually manipulating the crit rate upon poison placements with 2 active. And that means we're never taking a crit for our Taraji the Frog, which might actually lead to one of our best damage yet. I was thinking, do we just take off the extension, but let's just leave it on. I'm intrigued. How much are we going to do? Will this be our 100 million with Dark Kale? Alright, 82 million. So it wasn't as crazy because those ally attacks was really adding to raw damage. But we did last pretty long here, 60 turns, right? Let's just try this one more time. Maybe we had some bad RNG in that run. And then I've got one more option to show you as well. 82 million. So maybe Dark Kale isn't the best option, but he's still getting the job done, right? And it might be that consistency that you're really looking for. Maybe we could even just use the A1. How much more damage do we have? Do we have some space to run? Ooh, we're cutting it close. We're cutting it close. Let's just do a Geomancer team now. Take him out, and then we put in the Geo. It's really cool because when you think about this team, right, usually there's like an Underpriest Brogni, and then you've got a Godseeker Neri, so you've got 2 separate champions fulfilling the roles that Vault Keeper Wixwell is doing for your team. And this is allowing us to open up the opportunity for 2 DPS champions. As you see, we got Zenogre and any one of our choice, right? Those 2 slots are very flexible. And when we had the Farrak in the Fat in the team, right, we actually have a weaken from Zenogre and then the decreased defense from Farrak in the Fat, which means that you don't even need Lydia. You could put Claude Beastfeeder here and bring in a decreased speed, or decreased crit rate, sorry. So because you're getting those decreased defense and weaken from the other champions. So even Lydia is replaceable with that Claude Beastfeeder champion for that increased speed. So let's just put in Geo. I didn't put the high star blessing one on, unfortunately. It was just the other one, this one here. So let's just get those burns on. Go first priority here. Boom. Quick battle. Let's just see how this goes. And then we're going to face whatever affinity is as well. And explain how you could maybe set that up. So 90 million. Look at that. Geomancer doing some pretty good numbers here as well. So right now, perfect. Spirit Affinity. This is what I wanted to show you guys. We'll try it once with Geo. And then I'm going to go back to the Farrakhan team as well. And where I got 77 million damage with some good RNG. So right there, 74 million, Spirit Affinity, no block debuffs in the team. You know, Wixwell is just doing that intercept buff, keeping us alive. So, yeah, man, pretty cool that you don't have to, even if this was a 2-key, you know, if you missed the Void Affinity, it's still working without the block debuffs, right? If somebody just couldn't be bothered to put a block debuffs in there, right? So, yeah, pretty nice. Maybe we could put Farrakhan back in one more time. So, Geomancer, really good because he's actually reducing the damage incoming by 15% when under his burns, and he's reflecting those damages back to the boss, which is really nice. So recently used, and put in the Farrakhan again. Let's just go quick battle, see what he does. We've done so many quick battles today. I just wanted to show you the different variations and how flexible this team really is. So there we go, 73 million back-to-back Spirit Affinity without block debuffs, right? Really, really nice. So, Vaultkeeper Wixwell, is he there for the Vault, for the Demon Lord Clan Boss? Absolutely not, in my personal opinion. I think he's very, very good. Now, one thing that I actually did want to show you, we'll show on a fresh affinity here, is, do you know, let's just say you're going up against Force, right? Hypothetically, we're not against Force right now. But what you could do is, on this first turn, you can still leave it on full auto, it's not a problem. It doesn't really matter what we're doing right now. But you could place this intercept. Let's just say you're facing Force. Cheroggy the Frog is now mitigated to be a target. You could actually do the intercept, open it on him, click auto, and that way you know that no matter what happens, Cheroggy at least has that intercept buff to counter those stun debuffs incoming. And then if you're facing the Spirit Affinity and you're worried about Zenogre Blade Master getting stunned, you can then put it on her first. So it's very flexible the ways that you can use that intercept to your advantage. But the way that it works in full auto is your lead position, going to take it first, and then it's then going to move next in line, who's going to be my Lydia, and so forth, in terms of the team placements. So yeah, even if you do want to face Force or the Magic Affinity, and you're scared about getting stunned, unlike your Cheroggy, you just do one little turn of manual, just put the intercept on the right person, and boom, happy days. You're able to face any affinities of that clan boss, guys. Really, really nice. So, okay, what kind of speeds are you looking at here? What kind of stats and all of that good stuff? Well, with Wixwell, we've gone with a Guardian, which is allowing him to absorb some of that damage inflicted while it's healing every turn, as you see right here. And this is accessible from farming the Griffin in the Doom Tower, right? So, we're just looking for speed and HP percent, defense percent, all around the board. We've actually gone crit rate on the gauntlets to get some more damage in there, as well as some defense percent, of course, being a defense-based champion, and then speed on the boots. We've then gone with accuracy here on the banner. You could go defense if you can reach the stats without it, as well as some crit damage and some defense in these builds. We have got him fully booked, that is mandatory, and the 28% aura is really going to add to your tankiness. Masteries, we've gone the offense tree, heading down to War Master, of course, as well as the support tree going down to Master Hexer and that sniper, you know, to extend the value of that decreased attack, for instance, which is nice. And then in terms of the overall stats for Vaultkeeper Wixwell is 255 speed in this team, 50,000 HP, 4.8k defense, crit rate and crit damage as much as you can get, as well as enough accuracy to place our debuffs. It's actually, do you know what's really cool about this build as well, guys? Viable for Hydra boss, right? Because if you can get some more resistance in there, I'm a bit overcapped in accuracy. Depending on the difficulty you're facing, you know, let's just say you got decreased accuracy in there or increased resistance in your team, he can still play as a very good mischief tank, which I might actually wrap this video off showing you how it can work in the Hydra boss. And then with the no-grade Blade Master, so let's just call this DPS 1 because it can be absolutely anybody. It's mainly for that leech debuff. So as you see, increased attack on itself, better for a damage, placing that leech, and decrease attack in case Wixwell, you know, might resist or something, who knows. And then A1 weaken if Lydia resists, which is just a nice little safety net. But we've gone for 226 speed on her once again. If you do want to use that A2, bring this down to 219, with as much damage as we can get and some nice survivability with some accuracy. Mastery's heading down to the Giant Slayer because we do have multi-hits, as well as the defense tree trying to get some counterattacks. With Lydia the Death Siren, a bit of a random build. I just threw it together for the video. We're looking for 269 speed on this champion, which is actually a really nice speed to be, especially for places like, you know, the Doom Tower or wherever that may be. You know, having a fast Lydia is something you definitely want. And you can even see here that we're way overkill in terms of defense, and the main reason for it is that we haven't got increased defense for that stun turn, and the more that you can ramp this up, it's just the longer your Lydia is going to survive, therefore the better your run's going to be. So I'd say at least aim for around 4.2 or so to be safe, but you know, you can ramp it up as much as possible to try and mitigate that damage. We've got a bit of Defiant in there as well for that AoE reduction. So we've chose the offense tree heading down to the War Master, and then the support tree with Steadfast to alleviate those stuns from the setup phase, and then going down to the Master Hexer to extend the value of our debuffs as well. But of course, once again, you could just put it on her from the first phase, be fine as well. Farrakhan the Fat, we have gone a reflex build trying to get as many ally attacks out as possible, so with the beatdown. And then we're doing overall stats here at 34,000 HP, 217 speed, so not crazy. And once again, this could be absolutely anybody, Longbeard, whoever you want that to be, that's fine. Masteries, we've gone down to the offense tree, down to the War Master, and once again, support tree, and we do have Law of Steel in here, so something to pay note of. And yeah, same thing here. This was 217. This was 217, basically switching out for Farrak and the Fat, which is completely fine. So you could have like 2 different DPS for 2 different affinities, maybe. Could be an option, but overall very flexible. But I do want to reiterate that it's not just for this team, guys. Like, of course, this is Ultra Nightmare, late game builds, understandable. But he can carry this kind of theme into so many different teams because it's all 3-turn cooldowns. So even at a 1-to-1 ratio, you can still get those intercepts out. You can still get your increased defense out. So, and extend your buffs like a Godseeker and Eerie. There's so many things that he does bring. Of course, the one downside is the shield extension isn't insane, but he can extend the value of his own shield for a further form of protection and those counterattacks. So, yeah, overall, I'm really happy with what Wixwell brings to the table for the clan boss. So, okay, Hydra boss now. Let's just speak about this very briefly. It's not a Hydra video, guys. So, in this run, you're actually going to see the Head of Decay being under control all the time from the provokes from Vaultkeeper Wixwell's A1, right? So, we've got some ally attacks in there to make it a little bit better, but not mandatory. But what you're going to see is the Head of Decay is always going to target your lead position, granted that everybody's got full HP. And because we've got this nice chunky shield on our champion, you know, we're going to be able to survive that over the run. So there we go, Mischief tanking, because we've got that extra buff from the counterattack. And then you're going to see Head of Decay is going to be going for him. So boom, counterattack, straight back into provoke, and that's a way that you can always lock out Decay, granted that all your champions are full HP and under those shields as well, just for that protection. But if he does go elsewhere, not a big problem. You could just keep an eye on your run and, you know, just click off auto, or if he spawns back and, you know, he's trying to use his active skills, you can literally just go click off auto, click A1 on Decay again, click auto. So nice semi-auto control coming from this champion. So there we go. We can go with another ally attack here. And yeah, it just works very well for this team. Honestly, like, because he's playing quite a lot of crucial roles. We've got buff extensions, which is very nice for your perfect Veil options. He's also placing that intercept buff, so someone like Pharaoh the Barkhorn, he actually does AoE attacks, right? And he also does a perfect Veil. So the issue with this is, let's just say everyone else is under Veil, we're now countering Head of Torment, which is perfect. But the one person that's not protected is our caster in Pharaoh the Barkhorn. So what he's doing is placing that intercept buff on him, so when Torment comes in, if we want to place our block buffs, we have no problems in doing so because we're blocking it with the intercept. So he's bringing so many fundamentals to this team for the Hydra, especially for progression. Like, if you've got a Trunder team or you've got, I don't know, like the most craziest teams out there, then you may not have a use for him in your main comp, which is understandable. But for many players out there that's struggling with, of course, you need 3 teams for the Hydra, and you might not have top tier provokers in all of them, he can definitely have a slot to fit into those teams to counter these bosses, right? All you have to do is high resistance, high speed, enough accuracy to place your debuffs, mitigate the incoming damage from Wrath as well. There we go, counterattacks. Nobody's taken damage yet. And yeah, I think I've actually got another run that I can show you guys. So whilst this is up, alright, so I found it. So in this team here, we did 147 million on the Nightmare difficulty using Glazad, who's like a new perfect Veil option. Feel free to check out that video I did with Nubs a few days ago. But the main thing to pay note of, Wixwell was in this team and he was doing a phenomenal job. He was protecting our perfect build champion, bringing those intercepts to counter the provokes from Head of Wrath, countering Head of Torment as well, because we don't have block debuffs in the team and no Shamels and stuff. And yeah, he just did a really good job in this team, for sure. But I guess on that note, that is going to be all for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know your overall thoughts on Wixwell in the comment section below. Like, for me personally, I think he's pretty decent. Like, I don't think he's trash whatsoever from what I've been seeing around. Is he going to be needed for every account out there? Maybe not. You know, on my account, he might not make it into my main Nightmare team. He might not be in my Clan Boss team because I'm running Unkillable. But for many players out there, he definitely has some use for these areas. Yeah, have an amazing rest of your weekend, guys, and I'll see you all in a video soon. Peace.